there are unfortunately edits to the Zina and Poppy situation, or I mean like updates, not edits, updates to the Zina and Poppy situation. And yeah, so this video is going to be talking about those today. So our first update comes from Twitter, specifically Melena's Twitter account. And the first thing that happened was I saw a tweet where she mentions taking down the docks, but there wasn't any like context to it or for it or whatever. So also I tend to say I when I really should probably say we, because technically it was Adrian who saw this tweet first. But anyway, the point is, there was a tweet, and I saw that, we saw the tweet and made some impulsive judgments based off it, and then learned this rabbit hole is deeper than we thought. I unfortunately read at 2 miles per hour, so in the following reading of Melena's tweet, I'm reading it, and unfortunately reading it really slowly, so I had to speed up the thing, which also pitch shifts it, which I could turn that setting off, but I don't think it would make it any easier to listen to. So enjoy the Nightcore reading of this tweet.
If taking the docks down, this is far beyond the visibility and potential damage that any of us wanted. Poppy am calling for a ceasefire and block me on Discord to discuss terms.
Now, this tweet without any more context made a lot of people upset, including us, because it sort of seemed like she was kind of not taking the situation seriously anymore, but that is not entirely the case. Because of things that we're going to get into later, it is very, very obvious that, one, she is right when she says in other tweets, not to poison the well, but that, there's things going on behind the scenes that the rest of us don't know, which is true. So it is very possible that there's stuff going on behind the scenes, but also, when you have YouTubers making inaccurate videos, a good example of that is one that we'll get into in a little bit, it kind of makes sense why maybe taking down the evidence for this situation happened, even if, it, and as I'll get into in later parts of this video, the docks were put back up and stuff like that, so they will eventually put back up. But there were some things going on that they had to be temporarily taken down, but me and a lot of other people had kind of jumped to conclusions. I did take screen recordings of other people's responses, but I have no idea how to block out names like you can in pictures. I have no idea how to do that for videos. So I think I will just show our response to this tweet to avoid accidentally doxing people's names and Twitter names, obviously. I know it's public on Twitter, but still.
Oh no, on the one hand you gotta do what's best for you, but now there's just this stupid vid by PZ that makes Spawn look like the villain, which isn't a good thing. BC, we almost fell for that vid before finding the evidence here, Adrian.
So after we made our reply like that, we went on their page and we found the tweet I'm about to show you here.
I am stressing this is in concurrence with my lawyer's advice. Anyone who's questioning my decision here, including taking and leaving the docks down, understand I'm listening to my lawyer here who is making sure I don't do dumb shit. So yesterday was intense. Now that we've gotten some rest, Poppy, you have until the end of the day to respond to my offer. At that point, the docks go back up. This isn't just about you. It's about your friends and community. You want this to stop. Here is a chance. I've always taken what I thought was the right path, regardless of how people disagreed with the grace I was offering, and to who occasionally it backfires. But that's the risk. I don't need spectators to accept it. I do tell, don't know the details, so let me cook. Damage to them, justice, and my own well-being have always been secondary to the safety of those I'm trying to stand up for. Optics and the opinions of third parties has never mattered as much as those I'm supporting, so we'll take any shot at an end that I can. The hub doc for our PC documents, so far the attached thread, is also the main one that will continue to be updated with links to significant posts. If given her plenty of opportunity to stop, she somehow still thinks she's in a place to make demands. Shame. I thought you had to take the docs down for legal reasons. Are you going to get in legal trouble doing this? This move has been 100% lawyer approved. Yet glad you're able to have the info up safely now. In case it's not obvious, I'm not on board with Turkey Tom or his video on this topic. It's full of misgendering and gets quite a few things wrong when it's not copying our homework. Just Sodopi is not a PC supporter. I'm at time to go back to being a full-time silly goose.
I am 2 minutes into the Turkey Tom video, and holy crap, the amount of dead naming. I could turn it into a drinking game and get absolutely plastered, but obviously I'm not gonna. Holy shit. I get it, like, in the beginning, like, okay, you want to establish this person used to go by this name, especially if they're, like, a public figure or something, like, where maybe they used to, like, especially if they were, like, a public figure before they were trans, or, like, they've been open about what their dead name is or something, I don't know, but, like, repeatedly dead naming someone, repeatedly doing it over and over again, there's no excuse for that shit. What the fuck is this video? Oh, and of course there's the fun intro where, like, freaking Turkey is out here saying that if you're a furry and you have mental health issues, you apparently can't be a therapist, or apparently, like, you wouldn't be a good therapist, which, like, dude, what the fuck? Like, obviously, if someone's in, like, a good place with their mental health and their physical health and whatever, they can do whatever the fuck they want, bitch. So I'm glad that Turkey at least got freaking Spawn's, like, preferred name correct, but press X to doubt on Spawn being Poppy's daughter, because as you can hear in the rest of the video, he keeps calling Poppy by her dead name and using he, him pronouns, which, ew, that is not okay. That is not okay. We're really doing the bare minimum here. Wow. And, like, the thing that makes it worse is it's an edited video. Like, most of the videos that I've found that are by maybe less than ideal content creators, as far as trans and mental health stuff is concerned, this is one of the only ones I can find that isn't a live stream. So while misgendering on a live stream isn't a get out of jail free card, it happens sometimes you accidentally, like, slip out the wrong pronouns, and since it's a live stream, you can't edit it out, but during that live stream, obviously, you should say, oops, I got the wrong pronouns for this person. But, yeah, the blatant transphobia is very obvious here, and it is very hard to watch. like, the people that, I'm not saying Turkey Tom is necessarily one of these people, but the people that are going to take this situation, take the fact that Poppy is a less than stellar human, and go, oh hey, look, we found it, the transes are just so bad. You people suck, because one person being a piece of shit doesn't make the entire group a bunch of pieces of shit. I swear to God, all of this commentary is from only 4 minutes in. Holy shit. So, they just made an ableist joke. Wow. I'm shocked. It essentially, they said, like, go play Warhammer like a real autistic person, which I don't know how autistic people will feel about that. I'm not autistic, so I can't say whether that part's ableist. But the part after it, you had all these weird noises in the background while someone was, I think, like, moving on Warhammer characters. That is very obviously ableist to have the, like, because it didn't even sound like it was footage of, like, a genuinely nonverbal person. Like, that wouldn't be ableist if you just, like, had footage of, like, a, I don't know, nonverbal autistic person enjoying Warhammer. But it sounded like he was doing his best impression of a nonverbal autistic person. Guys, I hate it here. So he's starting to talk about all of the different, like, physical and mental health issues that the two of them have, and there's nothing wrong with talking about that if you're doing, like, a documentary. This is supposed to be a documentary, I think, but then he makes fun of the fact that she's a furry and she has IBS, and makes a joke about her fursuit probably smelling bad. Do I need to explain why that's utterly fucked up? Okay, the fact that he points out that, like, she blames her disabilities for poor behavior is a fair criticism, in my opinion, because that's never a good thing to do. Another thing that I think he said that may or may not be misinfo is the fact that testosterone can make you an angrier person. The only person I've known who's, like, gone through medical transition, like, IRL, that I can think of off the top of my head, testosterone actually made him, like, a calmer person. So, I anecdotally, I can't attest to that being the truth. There's also the issue of, like, I don't know, like, there's good info in this doc, but it's surrounded by a bunch of bullshit, which then discredits the good info, and it's annoying, because this is a fucking edited video. I can't with this thing. He keeps picking on people who have multiple mental illnesses and saying that they just pull them out of their butt, which is not how that works. Human brains are complicated, and if you have multiple mental health issues, it's not because you just pulled them out of your butt. And he essentially keeps saying that, like, I don't know, he finally starts using the right name for Poppy. Good for him. We're, like, 10 minutes in at this point? We're, like, so, like, good job, you finally learned their name, congratulations. So, yeah, I guess I just get to keep losing brain cells while I watch this documentary, because, again, it's so frustrating, the, like, good information sprinkled in with shit like this. So far, it seems to be a mixture of, like, stuff that is already public knowledge as far as Zina and Poppy and Spawn and stuff like that. As far as that stuff is concerned, it seems like this is already public knowledge. So, like, he's just kind of repeating shit, but making fun of people along the way. Like, if you want to watch a video talking about this, Alexander's video is good, for the kind of, I guess, relationship related stuff. Alexander goes into the stuff with Spawn a little bit, but not a ton. I went into it in my last video a little bit more because I wanted there to be a video by an LGBT creator who's also disabled, by the way. I mean, obviously, Alexander also had some really great insight into, like, BPD, because they have it as well. So, always good when someone who has the condition can give criticism. I don't have BPD, so I don't know. But, like, the point is like, I wanted there to be more than just one video by an LGBT creator out there, because most of the people criticizing this person are either cishet people, or I did see, I think, one person who's, like, gay or something. I don't know. They're not trans, I don't think. But anyway, there's probably other, like, smaller creators like me who are LGBT who are criticizing them, but I don't know. If you've seen any videos like that of smaller creators criticizing them, please let me know. Put them in the comments. I want to be able to watch. I will save y'all the screech noise I just made when the turkey over here said that, like, being plural is not a recognized thing. First of all, turkey, OSDD and DID are recognized mental health conditions in the DSM. And if you look at the DSM, if you look in the DSM and you look in the criteria, you'll see a thing that says can't be caused by religious or spiritual experiences or substances as the second criteria, but we're going to focus on the first one. Or recognized cultural practices, I believe, is the other term in that definition as well. Meaning, OSDD and DID are both recognized forms of plurality. Also, when you look at the bottom part of the, criterion in the DSM for DID, and you see the can't be caused by religious or spiritual or culturally acceptable, practices, that means other forms of plurality that aren't OSDD or DID are a thing. And I feel like this is probably going to become relevant later. I don't know. I'm just stating it now in case. Point being, plurality is very much a recognizable thing amongst mental health professionals and in certain cultures. So please, shut the fuck up. Of course, he thinks plurality is just kids on doing TikToks and chronically online adults and whatever the fuck. I mean, obviously he didn't say chronically online adults, but I mean, I guess he's kind of implying it by saying that Poppy's plurality is not real and that kids on TikTok's pluralities aren't real either, which is bullshit. He calls having child headmates creepy and insane. God help me. Please. Holy shit. Whether you are a plural person with child headmates or a singlet who age regresses, or both, a plural who age regresses and has child headmates, you are valid. Don't let this guy get you down. Also, having child alters or being an age regressor does not make someone a predator at all. I mean, he does make an allegation that apparently Poppy said that she, when she was a child, victimized another child, like how she was. But that has no relation to having childhood mates or age aggressors. That has nothing to do with anything. That those two things don't inherently go together at all. Wow, we made it a whole 10 minutes without an ableist joke. We're at like 18 or 19 minutes in, somewhere in between there, and he made a joke about tone indicators. Because rather than pointing out that it is ableist that Zina refused to use tone indicators, even though he pointed out all the physical disability issues, like the way they mistreated, because okay, you have multiple people in the house with physical disabilities. One of them is allowed to just not do anything, and the other person is expected to do everything. That is not good. That was pointed out in this, if you can call it a documentary, but the fucking mental health shit he just keeps making fun of. Like, tone indicators are very important for neurodivergent people in general, autistic people and people with ADHD, and honestly probably people with other things. Like, even with my anxiety, I know that it is helpful to have like tone indicators, so then my brain isn't like doing the thing of like, oh, what did they mean by that, you know? So, yeah, tone indicators are useful, and anyone infantilizing someone for those is an asshole. So both Zina and Turkey here are assholes, in my opinion. So Turkey makes a claim that I haven't seen anywhere else, so massive grain of salt needed. He said that Poppy was, like, jumping to the self-diagnosis conclusion that Spawn has DID. It wouldn't, but then he frames it as like, oh, that's Munchausen by proxy. Like, bro, no, it's not necessary. Like, what the fuck? I mean, maybe, I don't know. Why? Why are we here? I was intending to do, like, a reaction to the entire video, but I don't know. I think we're, 25 minutes in. I'll have to double check. But yeah, holy crap. Why are we here? Okay, it was 22 minutes, not 25. I'm giving y'all timestamps. I was debating, editing in the actual parts I'm critiquing, but I don't know. I don't want to give this video any more traction. I don't know. I guess let me know in the comments if you want me to make a version of this where I do edit in his bullshittery. I can do that if people want me to. Turkey, you don't take meds for DID. I don't know if someone could use DID as grounds for a conservatorship type thing. Honestly, this is fucked up. But if someone wanted to do for lack of, I don't know if it's actually called a conservatorship, but that kind of type thing where even though the person's an adult, you say they don't have the agency. The autism diagnosis, or really any disability, could potentially be used for that. I mean, maybe DID can, but the one piece of misinfo I'm here to correct is you don't take psychiatric meds for DID. DID is not like psychosis where you take meds for it, or, depression or anxiety or ADHD. There's no meds for DID. So I guess the thing I'm having trouble with is because like I said, this is the first time I've seen this accusation, and considering the level of research we've seen from this person, considering the misinfo, the dead naming, the making fun of people, it very obviously is I don't think I entirely believe this guy, but let's say that this did happen. There's not really anything gain from, like there's no control over someone that someone would necessarily gain from someone having DID that I can think of off the top of my head. If anything, the fact that Spawn has autism, unfortunately, autistic people get infantilized a shit ton in our society. I mean, disabled people do in general, but for some reason, I guess because people's general idea of an autistic person is like a high support needs person, people tend to very easily, whether accidentally or purposefully, infantilize autistic people. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about all this. This video just gets weirder and weirder. Okay, so that's where the "It's Milena" tweet came from. I normally respect people's dialect differences with English, but yeah, it's Milena. I might have pronounced it a little weird in my video as well. I'm not sure. Hopefully not completely butchering it. I hope I didn't completely butcher it. But yeah. Now I know why that tweet exists. Because I was like, oh, are people really like butchering her name? It seems relatively easy. Anyway, that is like 101 when you're making especially in an edited like documentary, is trying to learn people's names properly. The basics in this video that aren't done, like I took a film 101 class in college. Basic ass shit. Okay, I didn't take like anything higher than that. In any of the radio classes I've done and any of the radio stuff that I've done, it's always you learn to the best of your ability to pronounce someone's name. So then why the fuck are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Can't do basic ass shit apparently? Sheesh. Alright, 30 minutes into the train wreck, and he makes a joke about trans people getting transitions because of lesbian fan fiction. The fuck? One, like, at least he's acknowledging that trans women are women who are, like, capable of being in, like, relationships with other women. Congratulations. I was arguing with a dumbass on Twitter about whether trans women could be lesbians. So, yeah, brownie points for doing the bare minimum, I guess. But also, like, you gotta be kidding me. A trans person doesn't get bottom surgery because they read lesbian fan fiction. They get bottom surgery because they want to transition. I didn't know that basic fact needed to be said. Holy shit. 32 minutes in, and he's laughing at the idea that two plurals are dating each other. Ugh. This video, I think, is almost done. I hope it's almost done, because this is getting to be kind of torturous. Alright, so we're still doing the making fun of age regression and child alters thing. Obviously, the point that should have been made here is that if someone is a caregiver to a little, whether that be a little headmate or a little, like, age regressor, you're still allowed to have boundaries and have your own time. Your time isn't just consumed with this other person. Even parents of, like, physical children have their own time and need their own time, and you deserve that as well. Like, if you are not able to care for the little at the time, there should be some kind of backup plan in place, whether that be other, like, adult alters in the system helping, or another person depending on how regressed the little is, like, maybe they can just be by themselves. So yeah, he's like half doing his job here. He's like just listing out the events. He's not really making commentary other than making fun of it. he's not really adding to it or saying or criticizing it or anything. It's just, this has to be one of the worst documentaries I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, this is bad. The only other video I've seen from him was the worst predator hunter video, and that one actually seemed to have, like, context and commentary, where this one, it just seems like he's just making fun of people for the sake of making fun of people, and it's honestly just kind of painful to watch, and it doesn't get better. I keep hoping it'll get better, and it just keeps getting worse. We're staying the same level of awful. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. So he basically is making fun of Poppy's altars, which ignores the real issue. And also nobody deserves to be made fun of. The real issue being that there's no system accountability. There's no. It seems like both Poppy and Zina weaponize the other altars, especially the more vulnerable altars, to like manipulate other people. Like, I don't necessarily think the child altar is being manipulative. I think they just get way too easily attached to people. I could be wrong, but like, kids can be like that, you know, they get like way too easily attached. But that's up to the older headmates in the system, and like, depending on Poppy and Zina's dynamic, if Zina is also involved in that, because sometimes people outside the system can support, can help with the whole system responsibility thing. Like, obviously at the end of the day, it's up to all of the headmates to like work as a team. You're only as strong as your weakest link, but you know, it's, I don't know, this whole video is just so frustrating because it ignores a lot of the real issues here, which is, it literally just mentions the fact that Poppy and Zina are abusive, which there's way better places to get that information from, and then also mentions, like, he's just making fun of their mental health issues, when really the real issue is just that their mental health issues aren't being treated and they're kind of using it as a get out of jail free card, which is very different than, them not existing at all. Like, I don't know, this video just feels more like he just wanted to make fun of them and talk about a current trending topic rather than actually give constructive criticism or feedback. It's just, it's a whole thing. Like, his whole thing of, I don't know, it's just, like, he's literally like, this is your brain on 10,000 years of roleplay, which is obviously a joke, but also, it's pretty obvious that he thinks that all of this is just because all of them are, like, role-playing or something. I don't know, this is just ridiculous. So there's an accusation here that I, again, haven't seen from any reputable sources about Poppy defending Lily Orchard from their allegations of being creepy towards children, which is very obviously, like, they've been documented as being that, Lily, not Poppy. Although one accusation that was mentioned here that I have seen in other places is that Poppy would post NSFW stuff in the safe for work sections of her Discord, which, that's a big yikes, big no, big don't do that. But the Lily Orchard stuff, I've only heard from here, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, because I just don't trust this guy to have done factual reporting. I'm sorry, I just don't. Okay, he stuck a bunch of very serious allegations at the end of this video, which in my opinion is not a good idea from a standpoint of being able to provide evidence for these things, and it's just not a good idea in general. But yeah, And then he talks about people who were, like, still on Poppy's side, like, I guess allegedly Tipster and Keffels at the time of recording his video were on Poppy's side. I have no idea if they still are or not. I mean, I don't know. This whole thing is poorly edited. It's poorly talked about. Like, he just does such a shit job with it. How does this pass as good content? I don't know. There's just so much wrong with this video. Even from just a, like, filmmaking, documentary making perspective. You don't put the worst, I mean, yes, you put the worst shit towards the end of the doc, but you don't just tack it on in the last minute of your doc. That is shitty reporting, my guy. Incredibly shitty reporting.